morning, class. Today, I'm going to explain how fiscal policy can reduce inflation. Now, let's first define the key terms. Firstly, fiscal policy. It involves the altering of government expenditure and/or tax revenue and expenditure to affect the level of economic activities in the economy. In this case, to reduce inflation, we use contractionary fiscal policy. Secondly, inflation. Inflation is defined as an economic situation where there is a sustained increase in the general price level. There are two kinds of inflation: demand pull and cost push inflation. Singapore faces cost push inflation. This occurs when there are persistent rises in cost of production. Example, increase in wages, rents, interest, etc., independent of aggregate demand. Singapore is an import and export dependent country. For example, Singapore imports oil from other countries like Dubai. In recent years, prices of crude oil in Dubai have raised cost of production of oil worldwide from $60 per barrel to $130 per barrel. Prices of kerosene and diesel in Asia also increased. Since oil is used for generating electricity and for transportation tools, when the price of crude oil increases, cost of production increases. Companies are likely to increase the price of oil and pass some costs to consumers. Persistent increase causes AS curve to shift from AS0 to AS2. General price level increases from P0 to P2. Persistent increase in GPL leads to import price push inflation. Therefore, the solution is contractionary fiscal policy. To reduce inflation, we need to raise AS. In the short run, we can reduce indirect tax on imported raw materials or increase government expenditure through transfer payments. If the government reduces tax on raw materials, cost of production decreases. Companies bear lesser of inflation. AS curve will shift from AS0 to AS1. General price level will decrease from P0 to P1. Hence, inflation is reduced. However, we must note that Marshall-Lerner's condition that imports and exports need to be price elastic must hold. Alternatively, we could also increase government expenditure on transfer payments. In 2009, wage subsidies were given under the Job Credit Scheme. This lowers cost of production by subsidizing labor costs for firms, with employers receiving a cash grant on CPF for each Singaporean employee. Thus, AS increases. In the long run, by reducing indirect tax, companies can invest more on equipment and buy new machinery so that profits in the future are maximized. More goods and services can be produced within a shorter time. Thus, productive capacity increases. AS curve shifts out from AS0 to AS1. GPL decreases from P0 to P1. Now, let's fly over to UK. UK is a country that suffers from demand pull inflation. Why? In the late 1980s, there was the Lawson boom. There were sharp rises in demand for credit and a sharp rise in house prices. Amount of money in circulation grew at an alarming rate, leading to excess demand in the economy. So, how can we reduce demand pull inflation? The solution is contractionary fiscal policy. Firstly, government can increase direct tax. In 2008, the UK government decreased tax from 17.5% to 15%. This is done to kickstart the economy and boost consumer spending. However, when faced with inflation, UK government should increase the GST. This discourages spending. Households have lesser purchasing power, so consumption decreases. AD decreases. Secondly, government can reduce transfer payments. Currently, the UK government provides wage subsidies of €2,275 and unemployment benefits. Instead, both should decrease. G decreases and AD also decreases. Thirdly, government can choose to reduce expenditure on goods and services. UK spends 1/3 of the government expenditure on social protection, which is a lot. Social protection concerns with preventing, managing, and overcoming situations that adversely affect people's well-being. During times of demand pull inflation, government expenditure should decrease. G decreases, AD decreases. AD equals to C plus I plus G plus X minus M. In general, as C decreases and G decreases, AD decreases. AD curves shifts from AD0 to AD1. GPL decreases from P0 to P1. Hence, inflation is reduced. However, contractionary fiscal policy has its limitations. 1. The size of multiplier. This is the formula to calculate the K value. Since Singapore is an Asian country and have the habit of saving, NPS will be high. Thus, K value of Singapore is small compared to UK. 2. Time lags. The government in various countries need to identify and study the inflation, causing decision lag. Execution lag may also occur. Hence, when the policy is being implemented, the actual situation of the economy may have changed, making the policy less effective. In conclusion, by reducing AD and raising AS, inflation may be reduced. Contractionary fiscal policy is more likely to work well in countries that have a big K value. Hence, fiscal policy should be employed appropriately depending on the type of inflation.
That's all, folks.